Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl eToro, aka ICU Glam, and we are back for another episode of Cooking with Chloe. Cha cha cha. We are back today making one of my favorite dishes. We're taking it back to my plate. We are going back to Africa. Today we'll be making some fish pepper soup. Please, nobody should judge me because I'm making a very simple version of a dish that I love, a dish that a lot of people love that's actually a lot easier to make than you think it is. The dish can be prepared a multitude of ways. The way I'm going to show you guys is my easy peasy fish pepper soup recipe. This is the recipe that I used when I was in college. It calls for the bare minimum and it's still delicious and tasty and just as good as any pepper soup you would love. More traditionally, pepper soup is made with various assorted meats, either whether it's goat, whether it's beef, sometimes they use chicken, you'll see towel. Different parts of the animal are used to flavor up this dish, but we're gonna stick to a fish pepper soup today because y'all know I don't eat meat, and to be quite honest with you, I personally love fish pepper soup over everything. It's like fish or die. So if you guys are interested to see how I make my delicious, delectable, lovely, tasty fish pepper soup, then stay tuned. Let's get started. Okay, first things first, I'm going to show you guys what we're going to use. We have our fish. You can use whatever fish you like. Generally, I like to use a fish that is soft but still holds some weight, because by the time you cook it in the soup, you don't want it to be so soft and flaky that it just disappears and dissipates and breaks off. So I am using tilapia today. I go between tilapia or catfish or red snapper. Then you have your seasoning. I like to use chicken Knorr. I know some people prefer to use Maggi or different things. Chicken Knorr is my preferred seasoning when it comes to meats and fish and things like that. So we have our fresh pepper blend. This is just hot Scotch bonnet and habanero peppers blend together in a blender. Nothing added but a little bit of water. This is the pepper that I'm going to use to make the pepper soup hot. And then we have the Ntöng. I'm going to butcher the pronunciation because I'm not a true village girl. We have the Ntöng. Ntöng is a leaf that we use to give the soup fragrance, and that like floaty leafy thing that you see. I don't know what they call it in America or in English, but in our language they call it Ntöng. So you can use oregano. I think some people use oregano. If they can't find Ntöng here, I'm gonna take it home and use Ntöng. Oh my gosh, I didn't even show you guys. I'm gonna use yam. So I like my pepper soup to have some substance. I like to put yam in my pepper soup. So I'm going to chop up this yam and get this cooking. I already have water boiling. I have my water boiling with a little bit of salt. I like to put yam in my pepper soup because it gives me a little something to enjoy my fish or my meats with. So you can make it with or without. It's really totally up to you. Try to make my slices a bit thick. And I'm just gonna slice up 2 rounds because I'm using 2 whole pieces of tilapia, and to be quite honest with you, I don't need too much yam in it. So just gonna trim off the edges. We'll do one more block of yam. So once I've chopped the yam whole like this, I haven't sliced it into pieces. I just like to rinse it to get some of the slimy starchiness off and to make sure I get all of the outside dirt off finally. So we'll be back. Okay, so the yam has been finally rinsed. I'm just going to go ahead and cut my yam into 4s. Because they're smaller, like thinner pieces, it'll allow the yam to cook a lot faster. I don't like to make my yam too thick because then yam will boil forever and ever. Depending on the type of yam you buy, it can take a very long time to boil. We'll boil this until it's cooked. And for those of you who are not familiar with cooking yam, you cook yam very similar, pretty much almost identical to how you would boil potatoes. So we're gonna boil these until soft. I like to boil my yam separate from my pepper soup because I don't want the yam to completely thicken my soup like white soup, and I don't want the yam to not cook through before the fish cooks. So to avoid all of that, I cook it separately and then add it at the end. So we'll put these in the water now to cook. So while our yam is cooking, we are going to get ready for the main attraction, the fish. The fish is going to need preparation for cooking. So I'm going to put on my gloves because these nails were not made for cooking. We just wear gloves in the kitchen. So our fish is here, and our fish has been cleaned, descaled, gutted, definned, deheaded. I had the fish whole and I chopped it into 3 sections. And to that, I'm going to add my seasoning. So I'm gonna open up my Knorr, and to be very honest with you guys, I don't typically measure, but for the sake of this video, I figured it would be very helpful if I measured for people who are not so familiar. So taking my tablespoon, I'm going to measure out what I think is gonna be a good guesstimation for my soup. Now I always like to add a little bit and then add more as needed, because you can always add more seasoning but you can't take away. So I'm going in now. That's 1 tablespoon of my Knorr and 2 tablespoons. I typically don't add salt when I cook unless I really need to, because the seasoning should be more than enough. So that's 2.5 tablespoons. We're just seasoning our fish. So what I like to do when I'm making my pepper soup is I like to season my fish well and let it sit and marinate for like at least 2-3 hours before I cook it, just to, you know, let all those flavors marry each other and for your fish to really fully absorb all the goodness that you're putting into it. But for the sake of this video, I won't, but just know that I normally do. So after we've rubbed that in, I'm gonna take an ordinary spoon and take my pepper, do 1 big heaping on the fish. We'll do 1.5. I like my pepper soup super spicy, so you tailor the pepper to your liking. If you don't like things too hot, then of course you tailor it. So this is really all I do to flavor up my fish. So we're gonna let the fish settle and marinate for as long as it can while we chop up our onions and prepare our water for our soup. Add a little bit more pepper. Forgive me. So I like a lot of onion in my food in general because it just adds character and flavor to your food. So I'm gonna take about a little bit over half of an onion. I'm gonna clean it up and take off all the outer peelings. So we have our cleaned onion here. I'm just gonna chop it up into small little pieces in preparation for the soup. I actually think I've chopped more onion than I need. We'll take some of this onion and sprinkle it onto our fish. Disclaimer again, I'm not a professional cook. I'm still learning every single day. The way I'm cooking is how I like to enjoy my food and how I think my food tastes best. If you have a different way of making it, by all means, your way is also correct. My way is also correct. We doing this together, so it's a no judgment zone, sis. So now we have the rest of our onions chopped. I'm gonna get my pot and we're going to prep for the soup. So I just left on our yam and our yam is coming along lovely. It should be perfect timing. By the time the fish is like done cooking, the yam should be ready to go and we will get good money. We've got the fish here. So remember I went and added some onions into the fish. I'm just gonna mix it around a little bit. And I like to lay down my fish in my pot first. And then I'm just gonna scrape the rest of the onions and that seasoning and the pepper inside. Let me get some water in a bowl and then we'll actually measure out exactly how much water we're using because we're trying to be helpful here. Okay, so we have the water here. As we're measuring, remember that we want to cover the fish. So we want enough water to cover the fish, but go slightly higher because remember this is pepper soup and the whole idea is that you enjoy that flavor of the soup. You want to make sure you have enough liquid in your soup to enjoy the liquid part of the soup with the fish, with the yam, all in one bite. It's a pattern, so we have to make sure we get the water well. So I'm just going in with my first cup. And remember this is room temperature water. This is 2 cups. I don't know if you guys can kind of see. I think this, to me, this is good, but I'm just gonna add another half cup. So that's about 8.5 cups. So we're gonna set this mixture on the fire on like a medium to high heat to bring it to a boil. Once it's come to a boil, we'll take a little taste test and see if we need to add any more spices, any more flavorings. We'll see where we are with the flavor levels before we reduce to a low simmer and let it simmer through and cook. Okay, our soup water is boiling, so I'm going to taste it now, see where we are, and then see what we need to add. So we'll do a little taste test on camera. It low-key tastes good already, and it's spicy. Things that I did, okay, it's like the perfect amount of pepper. So I'm just gonna let the water do its thing and cook up. Because I think that 1 extra tablespoon we added of seasoning to our liquid is just enough. So we're cooking with Chloé. Okay, so our yam has been on the fire for just about, I'd say like 45 minutes to be quite honest with you. And me just putting my fork in, I can already tell the yam is like getting there. I think we might have a cooked yam. Oh my gosh, we have it like a pretty much cooked yam. Our yam really needs no more than like 7 minutes and it'll be done. The fish is working. The fish obviously take a little bit longer, but we're making good time. Guys, I think our yam is ready. Do you see how it just breaks apart? Oh my gosh, I could just eat it like this. I love yam. I'm gonna take this off the fire. So this is the point where I'm gonna go in with just a little handful of my Ntöng just to give my soup a little bit of character, some fragrance. Now this can be found at your local African market. I don't know what else you would call it but Ntöng. And I'm going to show you guys exactly how you would put it into your soup. So you take a little bit of it like so. So what it is it's just a leaf like this, and I'm going to crumble it and dispense it into my soup. So I'll show you guys how we crumble. So you take it and put it between your two hands and rub together to get those little itty bitty flakes for the soup. So I'm gonna take, I'll show you guys exactly how much I'm gonna take. So I've taken about this much and I'm just going to crush and add to my soup. BRB. So we'll let that cook for just another 10 minutes or so, and then we will dish, serve, and enjoy. It has been another 10-15 minutes and I've just checked our soup and it is ready to come off the fire. So drum roll please. So here we have it. Our fish pepper soup is here and our yam is here, the cooked yam. So what I like to do at this point, because my yam was pretty soft, I didn't want to add it while the fish was still on the fire. I'm just gonna go and lightly place my yam into my soup and then we're done here. Our work here is done, ladies and gentlemen. Let me bring you guys in closer. So I take a piece of fish on the plate, and then this size of fish, probably just with 2 pieces of yam, depending on if the person is a yam eater or not. And then we just take the liquid from our soup and pour on top. I'm gonna bust this down, okay? And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment of truth. This is like my 4th moment of truth because I've honestly eaten this like 10 times before I got on camera. To be quite honest, my bride price is high. No, honestly, my bride price is high. I'm trying to be polite and eat this on camera, but that's how I would eat it. I would break my fish up and let it really soak into the water. Break my yam, take a little fish, that liquid from the soup. No, my bride price is high. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Cooking with Chloe. We took it back to my roots and let's see where we take it to next episode. We will be making afang soup and edika going very soon, so stay tuned. But who knows? Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!